Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are here once again for Car Profile in GTA 5 Online. Today we are looking at the JB700W. Now the JB700W is based on an Aston Martin. I didn't look up the specific name of it. It's from the James Bond movies, the old ones. It's pretty cool. This here, of course, is a newer car, just added in recently in the game from the Casino Heist. It's one of the drip feed cars that got released in just a few weeks ago. So this car here is the same car basically from story mode. So it's basically been in the game in a way since 2013, but not online until I believe maybe 2020. I don't know. I don't remember exactly when it came out. Recently, though. Past few weeks. And this car here isn't that much better than a regular JB700, but it does have some weapon features, which we'll go over in a minute. Now, first, we're going to go here into the office garage, because I want to get to the workshop. We can take a look at some of the customizations here for the JB700. So, one thing to know about this car that I do find kind of lame is that it doesn't come with the guns built in. You do have to buy those, which I find pretty lame considering the fact that most weaponized cars you buy with some sort of weapons to them and you can upgrade it. This car here doesn't have any. So basically it's like buying a regular JB700, which is kind of lame if they just let you buy a regular JB700 and add weapons to it instead of making a whole other car, but they didn't. So there's not that much that you can actually change with it. Being an older car, technically, it doesn't have bumpers and all that fancy stuff that you would get on a newer car in the game. Even though it is new, this model, it is still based off a 2013 car, so there's not much you can add to it. Your secondary weapons, you can have spikes, no secondary weapons, or slick, which launches a mine, which then explodes and puts oil all over the road. And then the spikes, which it has from story mode. You have to buy these to add on. The main thing that this car has is the weapons. Your mounted guns here, you can buy it without, or you get it without, and then you can buy them to add on. That's really all this car does that is anything of note, really, that's going to be like, hey, let's point this out to you. Most cars will show the bumper upgrades and stuff like that. This car doesn't have that much to it from that standpoint. So let's go over some of the weapon stuff that it can do. First of all, it's not the quickest car. Armor-wise, you get hit with one missile, you're done. But you can do this. So what that is done is back there on the road. We'll go back there. It has released this from the car, which is a mine. What that does is it puts oil all over the road. So we'll go back there and I'll show you sort of what this does to the car. As you can tell, there's a lot of oil and the car just really doesn't have any grip. Pretty cool thing to do. You can tell I'm trying to steer, you can hear me. The joystick, it just doesn't turn. So you can launch a bunch of them. The cars will, of course, run over them as they're mines.
Your car is the shit.
Kind of funny when you get people stuck in them. The AI will don't know how to get out of them, or they can't get out of the oil. Stop running away from me. Okay. Okay. So we'll put this here. And as you can see, the people, the AI cannot get out of it. As they do flop towards the edge of it, they can, but on flat ground, they will just struggle in it and not be able to get out. As again, we're on a hill, they can, but it's kind of funny to watch. So I will place one down here just so to show you guys what happens when you walk over it, as opposed to, you know, the AI walking over. Let's just wait for it to get armed real quick. Did it not get armed? Now it is. So it kind of just does this to you as you walk across it. It's kind of interesting. Also does have its gun feature, which is pretty destructive, honestly. Kind of tore through that vehicle in just a couple seconds. This car is very, very fun for when you're going around just the city. I'm trying to do some like fighting with people. Kim just sort of use the oil slick and the guns to your advantage. So the mines go onto the car? Hello, I didn't notice. I never noticed that before. Oh wait, did I get a mine stuck to the car? I did. What? So as the cops try to chase me now, they're gonna go over the oil. And that really messes them up. And actually, they're stuck on this hill now. But yeah, this car is decent. Its handling is okay. Its acceleration isn't brilliant, but you know, it does the job. It's a car that, again, it's cool to drive. I don't really know if it's the most necessary car. Like, at this point, maybe like 2015 when I started getting into this shit, 2017, 2016, whatever. It could have been cool, but I think at this point, like, just the standard of weaponized vehicles in GTA is so different that overall, if you're looking for a weaponized car, fun factor, I think this thing's awesome. I love driving around, dropping the oil everywhere. Ultimately, for the overall usefulness you're going to see in a car, it is limited by the fact that the oil sort of has to be, you know, if you're in a chase with someone and they're behind you. So that's the thing. Also, spikes are basically useless unless you get in a fight with somebody who, for some reason, thinks, I don't need bulletproof tires, or thinks, not thinks, but or is, you know, like, below level 25, like, then, but for the most part, spikes aren't that useful now. Probably actually ever online, they probably wouldn't be. But again, I think the mines with the oil is quite useful. Like, I'm gonna drop this thing that's behind me. They're gone. They're slipping around back there. So it's really fun for stuff like this. Like, it is fun just to mess around with. So if you want a really fun car, it's weaponized, sort of mess around, get into some stuff in free mode. It's cool for racing. You can't actually use it in racing because it has weapons on it. Not that I'd recommend using a JB700 in racing anyways, but the JB700 is a overall pretty good car. It looks really cool as well. Again, free mode, just messing around if that's your goal. Like, ultimately, if your goal is to buy a car for weaponized purposes, there's other options. You get cars with missiles, stuff like that. This car here maybe isn't the ideal one for that, but it is fun just to have a car that shoots bolts forward. Oil mines. Let's go drive over some oil over here. Zero grip on it. So much fun. Oh, I want to try something. I don't know what I want to do. So, let me call a guy. I know a guy who can make the salt disappear. Oh no, well, I got stuck in here, so they're gonna impound my car instead. Yep. Let's get off these hills here. Now a fun thing that I've done, Lamim and I did actually together, was when we first bought them, went to the airfield over there, or the military base, airstrip, I should say. Oh, I don't
Give me a
want to
call
you
back when simple decisions don't freak you out so much.
Called the wrong person. I meant to call my assistant this time.
You're through, boss. That shouldn't be a problem. I'll have your personal vehicle
Alright,
collected as soon as possible.
At the airfield, airstrip, you place down mines and see what happens in front of your plane. Which typically involves your plane crashing into a building or flying up in the air and stalling out. Falling back down.
Hello, you're
Water.
through to Pegasus Lifestyle Management. How can I help? Your beautiful new aircraft is waiting at our nearest airfield. We hope
That's what
you're very
happened.
happy, sir.
We did 2 different runs. There was one run that I did as the pilot, and he did as the driver of the car. And we went, and I flew to the left side here, and the plane took off normally as it was hitting the mines and sliding around. But then I just didn't have any control and just went straight up in the air and stalled out and fell into the ocean. As for him, he took off with a jet and just couldn't turn and hit the side of a building. So we're gonna try and take our jet and take off with it. That's the goal. I know this is supposed to be like a car profile, but the car's main features really are these like things. I recommend if you're gonna buy this car, definitely buy the oil mines. Like, it is so worth it. They're so fun to mess with. So where's my airplane? It's over there, huh? Okay. So I'm going to drive it over here. take off down the middle of this runway. Okay. The reason I had to call the Pegasus 1, I cannot call him a personal vehicle 1 when I have a personal vehicle car already out. So here is our Nimbus, I believe is the name. It's not the Miljet, is it? It's the Nimbus. Yes, it is. So the Nimbus does. I used the Miljet, I believe, last time. Oh god. Let's not take wing damage before we take off. Alright, we'll watch that, make sure we don't clip that. Alright, so that did actually pretty well. I was quite surprised. With the Miljet, I weighed it down and it was gone. It went like straight up like, well, this. Right off the runway. Oh god. So, let's get back to the military base while we can. Alright. Oh wow, I thought we were close to the ground. I thought we were going in the ocean. What a brilliant approach I'm taking. Planes in GTA is not my specialty. Not gonna lie about that one to you. Alright, there we go. We did it though. So, that was today's car profile of the Dupachi. Is that the name? Dupache? Dupachi? I believe it's Dupachi. JB700W. This car, again, set with mines. Well, you have to buy them. And guns. This car is very nice. I do recommend buying it. Just for the fun that you can have with the mines and the guns in it. Again, it's a cool car to drive around in free mode, just mess around, do some cool stuff with. Tried a lot of different stuff with the mines. It's really fun to look at what happens when you take a plane over it and you take other cars, and you know, it's just, I find it really, really fun to do, and I recommend that you buy the JB700W for however much money the game says it is in it. I don't know. What's the price of this car? Found a war stock for $1.470 million. that is a car profile. I hope you guys enjoyed today's car profile. We'll be back. I don't know, we're doing one next week, but we'll be back soon either way with a brand new car profile, another episode. Next week or in 2 weeks, depending on if I schedule it or not, I don't remember. We're out here though. We'll be back soon with car profile number 20. Hope you guys enjoyed today's though, and we'll see you guys in the next one.